Well, it's pointy enough.
Oops.
We could probably use another lighter.
No, we're almost done here.
Okay, we're almost done here. I am too, so. What do you think?
More.
That's pretty.
Is that it?
I love carrot cake.
That was Emily.
Oh, that is pretty.
That is pretty.
That's gorgeous.
That is
Oh
pretty.
my gosh.
It's on Virginia.
Anytime, Carrie.
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Carol. Happy birthday to you. Keep coming back. Sober.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Thank you.
I have a little something for you also.
Oh, thank you, Kathy. Thank you for asking me to take my cake with you guys tonight.
I'm glad you could do it, Carol.
Yeah, you know, I got up at 7 o'clock this morning. This is kind of late for an old lady to be awake. And I have a habit on my birthdays to play one of my sponsors' tapes, Alabam, Carrothers. And that lady was full of so much humor, it wasn't even funny. She was talking on her tape about this guy she was with in this hotel. His name was Carl. And she wanted to have a drink, and Carl said, well, it's too early. And Alabam said, well, I never heard that one before. And then he said, besides, we don't want to drink alone. And she thought, there's two of us here. And, you know, that wasn't really drinking alone. And then she talked about another episode she had where she was checked into the Pierre Hotel in New York, the Waldorf, and one of the other ones there, all at the same time, and not remembering being in any of them. And one of the things she said is she was with this man, and he said, hurry up, get your bags packed. We don't want to be late. And she says, I wonder where we're going, you know. And he says, we're going to Miami. She said, why are we going to Miami? He says, well, we're going to get married. We don't want to be late for our wedding. And Alabam looked at him, and she couldn't remember the guy's name, you know. And she just cracked me up. And then she talked about pills were not her problem. And so when she was in the hospital being detoxed from acute alcoholism, they naturally were giving her pills, you know, and she refused to swallow them. And so she always said she met a nurse who had somebody sick at home, or they needed this or they needed that. And so Alabam would save all her pills up and give them to the nurse and switch it get the nurse to bring her in some alcohol. And that's the woman that got me sober. She didn't get me sober, but she kept me sober with God's help. And I'll never forget her. She's been dead for 20 years. And I love her today with all my heart and soul, because I got sober when I was 32. And my dad was dead when he was 35 from alcoholism. And I believe that in the next 3 years, had I not crossed paths with Alabam Carrothers, that I would have joined my father at 35. It has been a difficult route for the first 7 years for me, Max. Happy birthday. It doesn't have to be bad for you for 7 years, but it was off and on for me for 4 years. It was a nightmare. I couldn't function. I was an emotional basket case, bought 4 bottles of scotch, and always I made a phone call to my friends who helped me pour it down the commode one more time. Until at the end of, right before my 4th birthday, I had a spiritual experience, and I've never wanted to drink since. And it's been a wonderful trip for me. I wouldn't trade it for anybody, anything in the world. I love Alcoholics Anonymous. I love talking to the drunks. And it's better that you're sober. It's better that I'm sober. And you can do this thing one day at a time. And thank you for the wonderful entertainment tonight. I'm sorry you didn't have more of a turnout, but I guess everybody's in Beaver tonight. So thanks for showing up anyhow.